Okay, I'm not going to mix my words or say anything stupid, I'm just going to get straight to the point. I'm building only out of rare blocks, which is a fun idea that I asked ChatGPT to give me because I'm rubbish at getting ideas anymore. Ha! That's burnout for YouTube. Anyway, all my videos at the moment are doing terribly and I blame you, but let's get to the actual cool one. I'm joking, I don't blame you, I love you guys. You guys are the best. It's all my fault and I hate that it's all my fault. But I'm going to try and make this video cool and I hope that you like the base that I make. And without a further ado, let's get to the base. One thing I did want to do when starting out with this base today is I didn't want to take it too seriously, which is an interesting way to make a base because usually I spend a lot of time on my bases, you know, I go over it again and again and again and I don't really try to have fun with the base, but this one here I knew it wasn't going to turn out to be my best base I've ever made, so I just had a bit of fun with it and I actually was really shocked when I created the texture because it actually turned out looking really nice and I really love how that specific part turned out. Now in the main base it does not look as cool as the one on the right there, you know, the purple and everything, but I think it did look pretty cool for what it was, and it did, you know, it gave that effect of moving to purple really cool. I went for more of a prison style base because I really didn't know what else to do with this one. I came with a lot of ideas and I did work towards creating a cool base, although it did, as the video moves along, you're going to see that the base sort of lowers in quality. But I do think I learned quite a few things while building it, especially with texturing with ores, because I've seen some people do that before, but I've never really gotten into it, and I think I really learned quite a big, you know, I learned a bit about doing that today with this base, you know, using amethyst, diamond, a bit of netherite even, mixed into the base, and I think that looked really cool. The detail you see a lot in the base are the windows. The windows, those things that I made them out of spawners. Now, those are the only translucent blocks I had available apart from beacons. I didn't really think beacons would work well, so I used a couple tricks, and I think using the sea lanterns with the like, what are they called? I've forgotten the name of them, spawners, it works really well and it creates this weird like gated window effect, and that's why I ended up going for the prison style. And I tried to mimic the prison style too with the door, and I added the, I keep on forgetting the name of the blocks, you know, the netherite, not netherite, sorry, deep slate, the strong deep slate block, and then I mixed it with the bone block, and I hope that made a cool door, although it didn't look too amazing in the base. It's a little meh. And I did want to include the heads, the skulls in the space somewhere, so I added some detailing across the front with the wither skeleton skulls, and I think it's very minor and actually does work to bring the base together a little more, especially towards the front, and I think that turned out really nicely, and I am happy with how that detail turned out. Now, one thing I did want to try with this base, and it didn't work out too well, and it might have been the demise of this base, was the roof. Now, in my previous video, building with green, or not green, building green, in green, something like that, I did like these really cool roofs, and I wanted to mimic it here, but obviously I was tired because I really couldn't mimic the roofs that I did in that video, but I got close enough and it looked good enough. I ended up working with that, and I think it turned out nice enough that it had that sort of sloping effect, and I did some other designs throughout it, and although it isn't, and as I've said before, isn't the best base I've ever done, isn't perfect, there are a lot of mistakes and a little bit of error, I think it turned out fairly nicely for what I was trying to achieve there. Now, one thing I was trying to achieve with this base that I probably didn't work out too well is with the texture, I tried to add a little differentiation into it. I like that word because it's like very big and it makes me sound posh. Basically, I added lots of different blocks into the texture, and I'm really not sure if it worked out well. By that, what I mean by different blocks and textures, I mean like if you look at the bottom where it's got the black stone, you've got a bit of netherite blocks mixed in, or with the amethyst, you've got a bit of prismarine mixed in to the base, and with the diamond ore you've got a bit of the emerald ore mixed in, and I just don't know if that worked out too well. Now it probably, I like the prismarine, I think I like the prismarine at the top because it kind of makes it look a little faded and adds a little texture to it, but with the emerald ores I think it like added a little too much like stand out, and it just really didn't need to be there, but it looked nice enough, and I'm pretty proud of how everything else in this base worked out, how everything just looked cool in the end, and just in the end the base looked really weird, really funky, and it kind of had the effect I was going for, so I'm kind of glad how it turned out. Well, that's the base done. It turned out a bit funky, honestly. I wasn't really trying to go for anything too serious this time around, although in the past I have done bases like this one and this one where it's like super intense and I spent hours, and then if I didn't like a variant of it I deleted it, whatever. With this one I just went off the hip, gunfire, whatever I'm gonna explain that as, and I just kind of try to make it as random and as weird as possible. I don't really know how much I can talk about this base, so the time lapse is going to be interesting to do, but I did do a couple elements that I really liked. The thing that I figured out midway through that really made me happy was how similar these two blocks are, because red's an incredibly hard thing to texture. I say that in my videos a lot, but like, you know, that's a texture for red that I never even realized before. And then you can move it into grey, and is it a stone or whatever maybe next? I'm just guessing now, but yeah, that's a literal red to stone texture. It isn't perfect, but it looks pretty cool, and I'm pretty proud of myself for actually finding that one. So let me delete that now, and let's talk about this base just a little bit more. All the blocks in it, sorry, are all they're all rare. That's the point of the video. Sorry, my mind went another place just then. But I tried to use as many blocks on this array as possible. I didn't use all of them. I didn't use these guys or these guys or these. Well, I used a bit of that, and I didn't use, you know, in these videos I don't always use all the blocks. This base, as an example, I didn't use gold in it at all, but you know, it's there, and those are the blocks that I did use for it. This one is definitely, if you're going to choose between these two bases and which one you choose the best, it's probably going to be this one, but I try to go for like a prison thing aesthetic with this one, and I think it looked pretty fun, a little bit weird in the end, and it was just really fun to make. Well, anyways, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you want to see videos that are better than this, check out my other ones, and check out some that I'm going to do in the future. Thanks. Bye.